Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I have a detailed tutorial on how to make the upper part of this gown. So you guys requested that I show you how to make the down part, so here it is. To achieve the down part of this gown, you're going to be needing your basic skate block. So this is our skate block, the front parts. So I have it already cut out, and that is what we are going to be concentrating on today. So what I just marked out is 2 inches seam allowance that I have on this skirt, okay? And you can see the parts towards me is the folded part, and the part I am marking out line right now is the side, okay? So from the side you're going to go in by 2 inches, which is the seam allowance which you left for the sewing. So once you are done marking it out from this 2 inches line, you're going to have to go in by 3 inches, okay? That is for the wideness of your pockets. And for the length of the pocket, I'm going to be making use of about 7.5 inches. It depends on what you want, how deep you want your pocket to look, okay? So I want mine to be very prominent, okay? So that's why I'm making it very deep. So I used about my hip length to achieve this. So once you're done with that, you're going to have to connect your lines together. That is the length and the wideness, okay? And you can see that I have 2 lines right there. So the first line is going to be my allowance, that is half an inch allowance, and the second line is the main line, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and after cutting this out, you see these pieces, I'm not going to discard it. I'm going to keep it by the side because you are still going to be needing that. Now you're going to bring in a plain material of your choice. So I'm making use of a black plain material. You can make use of yellow, depends on the color that you want. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this my plain material into 2, just like this, because I want to cut this out for 2. I want to cut out 2 pieces, okay? So I folded in, and you can see that I'm trying to cut it out, okay? Can you see what I'm doing? So I'm just going to shape out the facing, and mind you that this is for the facing, okay? And once I was done cutting out the place I just cut out, I'm going to determine how wide I want this my facing. So for me, I want it to be 1.5 inches wide, okay? So once I want to determine the wideness of my facing, I'm going to make use of 2.5 inches because I need half an inch to fold in the side of the facing, and then the other half an inch is sewing in the facing, okay? I don't know if you understood me, but once I am about sewing this, you're going to understand perfectly well what I mean by all this, okay? So you can see what the facing looks like, okay? I'm just placing it for you guys to see what it should look like. So after this, the next step is for us to cut out our main pocket, okay? That is the pocket bag. Remember that this is the facing, okay? So I'm going to use this very Ankara print to cut out my pocket bag. So what I'm going to do is to bring in this piece, okay? So but before that, let's bring the Ankara print which you are going to use to cut out the pockets. So this piece is divided into 2, so I'm going to use this to cut out my 2 pocket bag. So I've folded it into 2. What I'm going to do next is to ensure that the folded edge is right on the dart of my skirt. Can you see? Okay, So what I'm going to do next is to place the piece that I told you you should keep carefully. Okay, so you can see that I've placed the pieces and I'm just going to cut out the shape. So after I cut out this shape, I'm going to go ahead and remove back these pieces. Okay, so I'm going to do away with the pieces. You can see the shape of the pocket is already coming out. Okay, so this is what the pocket should look like. You can see the length. If you don't want it that deep, you can shorten your own length. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to open up this pocket bag and then place my skirts on one side of the pocket bag, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut out the shape of the pocket. Okay, so can you see what I'm doing? I'm just going to quickly cut it out just like this, and then I'm going to now do away with that pieces. I don't have any need for that again. So what I'm going to do next is to go ahead and show you guys what this should look like. So can you see my pocket? I have it into two places, so I'm just going to quickly place it on top of my skirts for you guys to see what we just cut out. So I'm just going to go ahead and open up my skirt, and then I'm going to further place this pocket on top the skirts just like this. And when you want to sew this, you should ensure that you have the right side facing each other. Okay, and after sewing the pocket, this is what the inside should look like. Okay, so we are just going to do away with this, and then I'm going to bring in my plain material again and then cut out a strap of fabric. Okay, so this strap of fabric is going to cover the length from my waist of this skirt to the hem of the skirt, and I'm going to place it right on the center. Okay, how to determine your center is to go ahead and use your steam iron to locate the center. Okay, you're just going to fold your skirt into two and iron that way you are going to have a line which indicates the center of your skirt. Okay, so you can see that what I have there is about 2 inches wideness, and for the length I've already told you what you should do about that. And turning it over, you can see that I folded in using half an inch on both sides. So I'm just going to go ahead and use my hemming gum and fuse it into the skirt. Okay, in the middle of the skirt. Now for the facing, I'm going to go ahead and use half an inch to fold in. Okay, now to fold this in, I'm going to also make use of hemming gum. So you can see my strap, I've already placed that in the middle of my skirt using hemming gum. For now, I've not run a stitch on it, so I'm just going to leave it this way and then quickly show you how to what to do about your facing. So you can see that my facing, I've already folded the edge using half an inch, so I'm just going to place it just like this on the side of my skirt. Okay, that part which the pocket is going to be sewn, so you can see what it looks like. So you guys, you can see that this is already coming out beautiful. Okay, just like what we have on the inspiration. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead to my stitching machine and run a straight stitch on top the strap just like this. You can see my hand, I'm trying to show you what to do. So I'm going to run a straight stitch on the both sides of the strap, okay, to hold it in place. And I'm also going to run a stitch on the facing, okay. But before I run a stitch on the facing, I'm going to use hemming gun to hold down the facing on the skirt, okay. So I'm just going to quickly go ahead and run this stitch and come show you what this looks like, although you might not see the stitch because I'm going to be making use of a black thread to do this, okay. So at this point, I've already run the stitch, and what I'm going to do next is to bring in my pocket bag. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that I have the right side of my pocket bag facing the right side of my skirt, and I'm just going to go ahead and sew that corner using 1/2 inch. And after I sew it, I'm going to notch and top stitch and then push this pocket bag inwards, and our pocket is ready, okay. So you guys, you can see that I'm done doing that, and this is what it should look like. Can you see? So the next step I'm going to take right now is to go ahead and then sew in my lining, okay. So I'm just going to quickly turn it around, and this is what you should have. This is what it should look like. Can you see? Can you see? So if you don't want the pockets to be straight just like this, you can go ahead and use your sewing machine or use your scissors to cut it, shape it out a little. And then here you go. This is our pocket. You can see how very deep it is, okay. Don't mind that the pocket is so wide for now. By the time you hold in your seam allowance, the pocket is going to be very minimal, okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it out with my lining, okay. So you can see that my lining is 1.5 inches shorter than the actual fabric. So you are going to first of all sew from the down part using 1/2 inch, and after that you top stitch and then turn it over to the wrong side. So you guys, this is just how to achieve the down part of that gown. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial. If you do, please give it a thumbs up, and if this was helpful, please share along to get more people to see this, and I will see you in my next tutorial. Bye.